welcome back to my channel. Yes, I know it's been a while, but I am back now, and it is really important because today I'm going to be discussing the topic of burnout. As many of you know, burnout is one of the hardships of Animal Crossing, and it's really hard to deal with if you aren't necessarily educated on it. So today I'm going to be discussing a few reasons why it happens and how you can prevent it from happening on your island. If you're new here, my name is Aubrey, and I play Animal Crossing for fun, and I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. So with that, let's get right to the video. Before we start, no, I'm not sick, so if you hear my voice being strained in this video, I'm not sick, it's just allergies, but hope you guys enjoy anyways. So I thought that first I would kind of explain what burnout is. I have mentioned this in previous videos, and you've probably heard of it floating around YouTube, but basically burnout is kind of the feeling of dread or not wanting to play the game because you've either overplayed or you just have a lack of inspiration to play it. So burnout is kind of hard to deal with because I know a lot of people have dealt with it over the past couple of weeks and months because of Animal Crossing being out for so long and the fact that there's not a whole lot to do if you're not into decorating. So today the burnout topic is going to be very discussed, so if you're not into that, I'm sorry. There's going to be a new video coming out very soon. But yeah, let's get right to number one. So one of the most common causes of burnout here is just obviously playing way too much. And I'm not coming at people who play every single day of every single week, but people who play consistently for like 12 plus hours a day, obviously that's going to be, eventually it's going to cause you to just burn out and just not want to play. Think of it as a candle that's running out of wax. So with this, you need to kind of limit your time, but not like so strictly. You don't need to tell yourself like, oh, I have 5 minutes left to finish this up. Just be aware of how much time you're spending on the game, because if you play too much at once, you're not going to want to play anymore the next day. And I will tell you, burnout is probably one of the most annoying things about this game. So that's probably one of the most important tips to think about with this, but the rest of these are going to be just like checkups and just like seeing if you're doing this or not. And I am not saying that you have to do any of this in any way. I am just recommending this for people who have no idea what they're doing or people who don't even know what burnout is. So with that, let's get to the next one. My next tip is to take somewhat of a vacation. That is emphasis on the vacation. No, I do not mean real vacation, but you can always do that if you feel like it. What I mean by vacation is taking a break from the whole game or playing something very similar. Of course, there are plenty of other games. I will be popping some up on the screen if you are a fan of Animal Crossing. But it is important to do that because if you don't want to play, don't play. It sounds so obvious, but people make themselves play and then they just end up hating the game and never want to pick it up. So games like Stardew Valley, even Legend of Zelda, surprisingly, those games are great in your free time if you just don't feel like playing Animal Crossing. And yes, you can come back afterwards if you want to. But yes, taking vacation days, obviously not real vacations, but taking vacation days on that kind of stuff is super important. My next tip is to rethink what your end goal is. So in this, you need to think about what you're actually trying to work for. If you're working for a finished island and you want it done by a specific date, obviously this is going to be a little bit harder for you because you need to like kind of schedule to see what you're kind of doing. It doesn't have to be as fancy as it sounds. You don't even need to really think about it, but just be aware that decorating takes a lot longer than it looks, and being burnt out is caused by people rushing and decorating. So it's so important to just kind of like maybe once a week just kind of think about what you're doing and do little areas at once. Plan out your island if you can. There's plenty of websites out there to help you with that. But yeah, rethinking what your end goal is so important. And then my next tip is to separate each project you are doing, because if you have too much on your plate at once, obviously you're going to get overwhelmed. So with this, I am talking about you're very overwhelmed because you're thinking of like 10,000 different villager house ideas and you just don't know where to start. So with this, I would start with like maybe your favorite villager and then decorate their house and then go to the next instead of doing just a bunch at once. And then also with that, you need to think about like, when you're decorating their house, is it in a spot that you actually think is in a good place? Are you going to have to move it later? Because I cannot tell you how many times I have just completely given up because I'm tired of moving villager houses. So yeah, please don't put too much on your plate at once because again, that's the cause of burnout. I'm going to try to put a burnout counter on the screen because I can't stop saying it. This next one is to remember that you have all the time in the world. The only thing with this is that if you are super time restrained, so if you're worried about seasons, you might have to time travel, and if you're not okay with that, then yeah, this might not work. But just remember that you don't have to decorate your entire island in like a week because that usually isn't possible. Decorating, you can do it as slow as you want, and it really doesn't matter how long you take. Yes, there's lots of people out there that decorate so fast, but that's just because they make it look a lot easier than it is. So just keep that in mind when you're decorating, that it is not very fast of a process and you have so much time in the world. So just remember that for next time. This is kind of an interesting way to deal with this, but maybe return to old Animal Crossing. And no, I am not saying pull out your old Wii U or your old GameCube and play New Leaf or Wild World. I mean, go back to the beginning of quarantine and play Animal Crossing like we originally did, where you would wake up every day and you would chop down some trees and you would go to your shops and you would update your game. This does sound really dumb when you think about it, but actually doing that and taking some time to kind of revisit what it used to be like kind of reminds you that this game is not supposed to be that much of like a game that you grind with. You just need to remember that this game is one that you're supposed to play on your own time, and you don't have to be there, and you don't have to be there every single day of the year. So yes, decorating like that. And you can also just go through all the old events. Some of them are time locked. So just kind of appreciate what the old one was instead of focusing on decorating and kind of taking a break from that. That's another type of vacation you could take. So that is so helpful for me. And then this last tip is kind of unique. I've never heard of someone doing this before, but if you happen to have pictures or videos of your old island theme, I recommend revisiting those, or even if you have a saved dream address of your old island, I would go look at the way you decorated your old theme and kind of keep in mind like what you improved on. So if you just have no self-esteem and just are like, I'm so bad at decorating, go look at your old decorating style and you'll see so fast that you improved so much, and it will definitely give you a lot of peace of mind when you think that you're not a good decorator, because I will tell you, you improve very fast when you play. So yes, revisit your old theme, maybe even make some updates to it if you really want to, and that is so helpful for me. I keep saying that, but it's true. I kind of like this countdown video style, honestly, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. This took me a long time to film because I'm going to insert a blooper reel, and I just could not talk this entire time. I was like messing up all the time. I was having technical difficulties, but I made it through and it's all good, and I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I want to point out really fast that I hit 50 subs over this 1 week break I took, and I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I really did not think I was going to make it this far. I am so glad that I actually didn't give up, because I made it to 50 subs. We're halfway to 100. I'm so excited if I do hit 100. But after that long spiel, I think we all deserve a glass of water, and I really hope you guys have a good day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day. Bye! This next tip is to say, oh my gosh. I wasn't recording. Wow, there's gonna be a lot of bloopers in this video. Part. Dang it. And just like ways to stop it. I guess. Oh my god, I can't do it.